Judgment Day. The first locale to host Mr. Jordan's newly formed Christian Life School was a headscarf insistent Plymouth Brethren Church. Its decidedly hoary headed congregation were also of the heartfelt persuasion that a blinkered religious upbringing was the best hope for creating righteous warriors for Christ. Thus, having found a safe haven, with our mother having been the one who introduced Mr. Jordan to the close knit place of worship, our custom crafted little workstations were soon being screwed into their Sunday school space in the back room. There was a sense of relief over us children having been rescued, secluded from the soul eating iniquity of the world. One recess, early on in our first season of schooling courtesy of Jesus, I was messing about with Roman in the hallway when Mr. Jordan abruptly swung into the corridor. He smiled at us in a uh-oh sort of way. "You pulled your brother's pants down," he concluded in my direction, sounding personally put out. My barely 6-year-old brain knew he had me. Roman's slack underwear band was still protruding from his waistline. I It's a game I tempted, not sure yet on my life's new rules. "We're just playing," Roman affirmed. He was ignored. "To the basement, Aram," Mr. Jordan ordered. "Roman, back to your office. Recess is over." I knew to do what I was told, if nothing else, even as the swirling whispers I had heard concerning the church basement induced in me a tunneling hollow of dread. My size 6 second-hand dress shoes shuffled down 13 steps. The door at the top of the stairs clicked shut, leaving me to wait alone in the bowels of the house of worship for what felt like an intentionally drawn-out amount of time. My heart was hammering out its escape when Mr. Jordan finally descended, a trio of stoic-looking grown-ups riding silent in his wake. Their blank expressions offered nothing to go on, and it took me a few ticks to recognize one of them looked exactly like Mom. "Hands against the brick," Mr. Jordan directed. "Stick your bum out." There was no reprieve. His course was set. "The Lord instructs us to train up a child in the way he should go," Mr. Jordan presented his case for the witnesses, "and brawling cannot be allowed to stand." He took a labored breath. "This is hard for me. Indeed, it truly hurts me more. But the Lord's instruction is clear." I wasn't sure how that made sense. "But it was just a game," I croaked. "We didn't do anything." My desperate attempt shuddered into silence, to Mr. Jordan's right hand raising up a mahogany paddle, gripped with easy familiarity. I distantly wondered at the dime-sized hole drilled through its wooden heart. Mr. Jordan twisted my face back to the wall. His callous fingers roughly maneuvered my legs into a wider stance. "Now stay still," he demanded. "I might hit you in the back otherwise, and I can promise you that hurts much, much more." My thoughts emptied but for wishing I was dead. Frozen at a bent angle, my bum pointed straight at the God-fearing trinity of stone-faced observers. There was the briefest moment of terrified nothing, punctuated by a hard inhale. Then all I knew was pain. A deep grunt from behind. I fell to my knees. But that was only Mr. Jordan's warm-up. His breath engulfed me with its stench of stale coffee and carious. He pulled me back into his preferred position. Again he knocked me down. He seemed to know exactly when to land the next blow to make it hurt best. Again he jerked me lower. The third strike crumpled me into the greasy linoleum. I was left lying there this time, my vision a blur of the floor. Pull yourself together in the toilet and return immediately to your office. Mr. Jordan was done. He dried his sweaty forehead with his sleeve. His three chosen witnesses impassively watched me wailing, still mute. My mother wouldn't look at me straight, even as my broken sobs made it clear I really needed her attention right now. Only she seemed slightly confused, heading back upstairs, the distance between us growing. Stinging all over, I ran to hide in the washroom. Locking the door, I huddled on the toilet and begged Jesus to come and save me, to carry me across the sand. Nothing happened. I stood up, stared at myself in the mirror. A timid knock at the door set my heart again to stammering. Tentatively, I unlatched the deadbolt, cracking the door a tiny sliver. There crouched Roman, his expression shattered, his face contorted in pain. What happened? I already knew. I thought he'd let you go. They said to tell the truth. My brother's voice trembled. Because of Jesus, and I said I gave you a Benny. That's why you pulled my pants down. And then mobbed me. Roman's face tightened into a hard line. He furiously wiped at his tears. The truth that set us free was whatever they said it was.